Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel according to Ria, and of course I'm Ria. So as you can tell from the title of today's video, it's going to be a story time. But let me just detour real quick. So this week, I'm going to be posting a video of the process. Maybe I gotta see how the footage turned out, but this is from Ali Grace. They don't sponsor me yet, but they should. Period. This is a 6x6 closure wig. It's my first time wearing a closure, and honestly this experience was not the best, so it might be the last. So I'm gonna be drinking Liberty Creek's Cabernet Sauvignon, and I already poured it in a non-wine glass, but who cares? All right, so I am going to okay, so let me just start off by saying that this happened like 3 years ago. Y'all, this actually happened about 5 years ago. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna be putting anybody's real name, of course, because I don't want to incriminate anybody, but yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. Oh, I'm not gonna tell you what state or nothing like that. Yeah. All right, so I went ahead and wrote down some fake names because I'm not gonna tell you guys who's really who, but yeah, so this started, hold on. I was in another state for the summer, and I was working at this place that a lot of kids my age worked, and I think I was like 17 at the time, so there was like 15, 16, 17, you know, blah blah blah. So I met this girl, and we're gonna call her Coco. So Coco, me and Coco clicked like super fast. She was super goofy, and yeah, like she was tomboy. But yeah, so one night Coco was like, you want to go out with me? Now mind you, Coco was 2 years younger than me, so she was 15 and I was 17, I think. So I was like, yeah, sure, okay, boom. So Coco was like, all right, so me and my friend are gonna come pick you up. So Coco's friend was older. Coco's friend was a Caucasian male who was probably in his 30s. We're gonna call him Bob. Bob and Coco came to pick me up, and we drove out into the middle of nowhere, into a house. Before we got there, we made like several stops along the way and picked up other kids. Now looking back, this was very suspect because we were all underage and Bob was like 32. So anyway, it was probably like 8 girls in Bob's truck. Now there was another car that was trailing us, and in that car was Katie, Nikki, and Jesse. All right, so Katie, Nikki, and Jesse were following us in a sedan. So we all get to Bob's house, and Bob is providing alcohol. So we're all drinking, you know, we're getting lit. So for context, Nikki and Katie are dating, and Jesse is their friend. I hope this is, I'm so sorry this is confusing, but yeah. So right off the bat, the first person to get drunk is Jessie. Jessie is shit-faced. She's like throwing up, and it's a mess, and it's tacky, and I have never met these people before. So I'm just like, so it was all cool. We were taking fireball shots, and you know, we were having fun. So there was another kid there. It was the only other boy, and he was our age. I don't even know what his name was, but he was like, we should go mudding. Now mind you, you know, I'm a black girl, so I'm like, mudding, like I know what mudding is, but y'all trying to go mudding and we're all tipsy. And before we did that, Coco was drunk as hell. Okay, so Coco was passed out. Mind you, Coco was the girl that I came with, the one that I work with, okay? So she's passed out. She's obviously not going mudding. Bob put her in his room and she went to sleep, and everybody left, okay? So we're all gone. So it's me in the car with some random girls and Bob, and then the car trailing us has Katie, Nikki, and Jesse. Now the car is Nikki's car, but Nikki and Katie were in the back seat, and they were letting Jesse drive. Now, if you remember, Jesse is the one that was shit-faced, that was throwing up early on in the night. So I don't understand why she was driving, but nevertheless, so we get there. Now the boy that was there, So we went to his house, dropped him off so he could get his own car. So now it's 3 cars in this scenario. I'm still in the truck with Bob and random people, and then there's the boy in his car, and then there's Katie, Nikki, and Jesse in the other car. Okay, so the truck that I'm in and the boy, we meet up at the spot and we're there and we're waiting, you know, and Katie, Nikki, and Jesse haven't showed up yet. So we're just kind of chilling, blah, blah, blah. So we probably waited 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And at this point, we're like, okay, where are they? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So somebody in the car gets a phone call. They get a frantic phone call and they're like, oh my God, come help us. Something like, I think they said that we hit a tree or something happened, and they're screaming. So everyone's panicking. We rev up the engines and we drive back down. Mind you, I said he lives in the boonies, okay? So we're driving down a singular dirt road. There's no street lights, and there's no street signs. So it's just a recipe for disaster. Okay, so we're driving along, we're zooming along actually down this single road, and we're looking for anything. Okay, so as we come up, we see, mind you, it's pitch black aside from headlights. As we come up on our left hand side, we see headlights. So we frantically stop, okay, and we see that Nikki, Katie, and Jesse are off the road. The boy that's following us, he obviously is looking out like we are, so he doesn't notice that we have slammed on our brakes. He slams into us, like slams into us. Like, I'm the only person in the vehicle with a seatbelt on, and I fly into the seat in front of me and I hit my head so damn hard. So what happened was, like I said, Nikki let Jesse drive her car. Jesse was drunk. Jesse ran off into the side of the road and hit a tree, and they're kind of like off in the dirt, you know, hard to get to, blah, blah. We're all underage. We're all intoxicated. And now there's an emergency. So of course, everyone's panicking. So Jesse, the driver, no one's hurt, by the way. No one is hurt. By the grace of God, nobody is hurt. Jesse is tripping, y'all. She is barefoot. She is running around screaming, I almost killed them. I almost killed her. It's a mess. And I'm like, you know, when you see movies and stuff is happening very fast and like that one person is like really still and everything around them is like y'all, that is real life, because in that moment I felt like I was moving slow, but everything around me was like she was screaming, like, y'all, the kid, oh my God, it was horrible. It was so horrible. I was like what are we gonna do? Okay, so Nikki, whose car it is pissed. Mind you, she is like trying to beat Jesse's ass. Like, it was a mess. The dude that hit us, he messed up his car, okay? But we didn't know that until Bob was like, okay, well, you need to go to your house and get your parents, right? Because we were gonna try to get his parents to pull their car out of like the ditch. And the boy was like, no, I'm not going home, right? He was like, you know, basically, I'm not trying to get in trouble, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, as if the night couldn't get any worse. Like, looking back, I can talk about it calmly, but like at the time, I can't even explain to you the amount of fear that so the boy was like, I'm not going home. Bob was like, yes, you are. You're going to get your parents. He's like, no, I'm not. Y'all, Bob literally goes to the truck and pulls out a gun. This man pulls out a gun and he was like, you're gonna effing go to your effing house and you're gonna tell your... I was shitting bricks because I was like, oh my God. So he pulls out a gun and he's not pointing it, but he's like, you're gonna go to your house and you're gonna tell your mom that you need and da 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 da. So the boy, he goes to his truck and tries to start it. Y'all, why his Jeep start smoking? So this man's Jeep is totaled. We can't, like, the front of his car is like bent inward, like concave. And when he tried to rev the engine, it literally started smoking. Bob still has this gun out, okay? So I don't know. So then he starts panicking. He's like, you know what? I can't do this. Like, he's like, I'm about to go. And I'm like, okay. So then he was like, and y'all better not get in my truck. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Don't get in your truck. Like, you are my, and then he was like, the only people that can get in my truck is you, and you. And I was you. And I was like, oh. And he was like, the only reason that I'm taking you is because I brought you here or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I don't care what your reasoning is. As long as I get in the truck, I'm going back to the house, okay? So I get in the truck, me and like one other person and Bob. He's zooming. We left all of them there. Like, literally, this is my first time meeting them. And it went horrible. It went horrible. So when I tell you we're hauling ass back to this house. So we get there and he's like, okay, y'all need to clean up. So me and the one other girl that he brought back, we're cleaning up the liquor, we're cleaning up shot glasses, we're wiping, we're just trying to get rid of evidence that we were even there. I don't even know whose house this was. I don't even think this was Bob's house. Honestly, I think for some reason I'm under the impression that this was one of his friends' house, who was out of town or something, but I don't know. So, you know, mind you, Coco, okay? Coco didn't experience none of this. Coco is still knocked out in the bedroom. So, you know, once we got cleaned up, he was like, y'all gotta go. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, are y'all gonna drop us off? And he was like, y'all need to call a taxi. Y'all, just my luck, my phone was on like 10%. And mind you, I'm in the boonies. So my phone is searching and my battery's actively dying, okay? Coco is toe up. So she's literally leaning on me like she can't walk on her own. She's half asleep. Y'all know what that drunk be like. So he was like, I need to call a cab. And so I'm panicking because I don't have no money. Okay, so I'm thinking like, when we get the cab, how are we going to pay? Never really have been in a cab before, so I didn't know that you didn't pay until after the end of the cab ride. So I was panicking for no reason. So my phone is dying and I'm like, you know, Coco, can I use your phone to call the cab? She couldn't tell me her password, so that didn't happen. I ended up having to do it with my phone, and now I'm at like 5%. Okay, then I remembered that she told me earlier that she had brought money to get alcohol, right? But we didn't end up buying alcohol because Bob already had alcohol. So I was like, okay, so that means that she still has that cash on her. So now I'm like, Coco, where's the money? Couldn't figure it out. He takes us in his truck to an intersection. We're still in the boonies, takes to an intersection. It was like a county road. So my fear at this point is like, how are they gonna find us? You know, are they gonna know where we are? My phone is dying. What if they try to call me and my phone is dead and then we're stranded? Bob and the chick left. So I was like, all right, I got Coco up against the one pole, like street pole, okay? I leaned her up against the street pole. Mind you, the street pole is like on the street, obviously, but like there's the road and then there's like dirt and then there's like a ditch that leads into the forest. But so hopefully that's not a horrible description, but anyway, so I turn around, you know, I'm looking out, I'm watching, I'm panicking because, you know, I'm like, I don't know where I am, I don't know these people, and I really did not know Coco that well. So I was kind of like, you know, I can't let nothing happen to her. I'm older than her. Although she put me in a weird situation, I need to look out for her. I didn't know where she lived. Like I did not know this girl like that. She was literally my coworker. And so, you know, I think we probably were out there for about 30 minutes. And then I turned around, you know, just to periodically check on her, y'all. Coco so I had her back, like the pole was supporting her. So she was like this. So I guess in her drunken state, she had like slid like off the pole, and because the pole was the only support, she fell back. So I looked over and Coco is literally leaning. So like here's her legs, and I told you it was a ditch, so her upper body and her head is like this, and I'm like, oh my god. So I go back and I pull her out of the ditch basically and lean her back up against the pole, and I was just going through it. And so finally the cab came and I was so surprised. Like my phone was literally on 2%, and I was like, you know, nobody but God kept this battery going. Nobody but God, because like my phone should have died. I was on the phone. I was like, my phone should have died, and it didn't. And he did what he needed to do, you know what I mean? Because that easily could turn into a horrible situation. So the cop came and she was like, it's gonna be $50 if she throws up, talking about Coco. And I was like, okay. At the time I still couldn't figure out where the money was, y'all. So it took us about an hour and a half to get to my house. And y'all, we got to my house, and all of a sudden Coco was like sobered up, and I was like, Coco, where's the money? And she pulls a wad of cash out of her bra, and I was like, you know what, thank you. So she pays lady, we go in the house. My mom is like, you know, she's like, what's going on, what's happening? So then I have to explain to her. It was a mess. And so yeah, so we ended up putting Coco on my couch. Everyone was asleep. The next day, y'all, my body was on fire. Like, I literally I was like this, like I could not move. So I ended up having a concussion from when we got rear-ended hard as hell by the boy, and I had whiplash. Like, it was, and I had work. Me and Coco had work that day, and I called out. I was toe up. You know what happened? Coco was sobered up. My mom made her breakfast. She had pancakes and bacon and eggs and blah, blah, blah. And she cooked me breakfast too, but I think I didn't feel good at all. I ended up throwing all of it up. And then a friend of Coco's came and picked her up and took her to work. And she went to work. And I'm at home, like, y'all, like, I was like, bro, this is crazy. And that was that. Like, and then we have literally been best friends since then. Y'all, I forgot to add that the next day, like, we ended up hearing about them, and I heard that they all got DUIs, but I guess they didn't. I don't know. But yeah, so like the parents came and everything, and like the cops were involved, and it was a mess. Coco. And then later on, we re-met Katie, and Katie is like, that's my best friend. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. It was short, it was brief, but not much happens to me, but that was very interesting, so I thought I would share it with you guys to kind of put something different on my channel. So let me know if you guys liked it, if you thought it was funny, interesting, whatever the case may be. Leave a comment. Make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like this video, and stay tuned for my next ones. Bye guys.